Hello, this is the Cobra M46SPCVX, which is an 18-inch self-propelled petrol lawnmower, and this is how it arrives with you in this box like this. So what I'm going to do is show you how easy and fast it is to put together. So first thing is we need to get the mower and all the components out of the box, and then we can get cracking. So here it is, all out of the box now on the table, and I'm going to just show you how easy it is to put together. Essentially, we've got to put the handlebars into position, put a handle onto the grass box, and then fuel it up. So it comes with everything you need except for a screwdriver. You do need a screwdriver for one screw that has to go in, but it's got spark plugs there. These are the handles for the handlebar, cable clips, handle for the grass collector, oil there for the engine, and the all-important manual that tells you everything that you need to know about this mower. So first thing is, with this little screw just here and this, I'm going to put together the grass box here. So this is the grass box, and it's very, very simple to do. You can't get it wrong. That lug goes into that slot there. Just put that in, and then just click that into place there, and then this screw goes in from underneath. So I don't know whether we can see that, but if I just start that off like that, I can then get the screwdriver in and just tighten that into the handle above. You just need to put a little bit of pressure on it. So that's nice and tight there. So I'll just pop that down onto the floor. And the next thing we're going to do is to put the handlebars into position. And you'll notice that you've got these two red levers just here. So these are going to fit on, and they are the locking mechanism really to hold the handlebar in place. So first thing I'm going to do is just to take the bolt out there. So that just twists out from that center there, which is threaded. So they're identical, so it doesn't matter which side you put them. So they're all ready to go. And then what we do here, we can see we've got, this is loose, this one is hinged at that point. So what we can do is lay that over this tubular steel, and we're lining up these holes here like that. That's what we're doing, and we're going to put those into position. So we start with the bolt. The bolt goes from the inside out, and we twist it round because it's got a bit of a curve on the head of the bolt there, so that sits nicely around this tubular steel. Then we can pop on the washer, and then what we do is, it's threaded hole there, we just thread that on and twist that round like that. And what we've got to do is, when we're putting this together, we've got to make sure that the cables are on the inside of the handlebars so they don't get trapped. Okay, I'm going to leave them loose for the time being, and then we'll repeat on this side. So line it up, bolt into place, the washer, and then we can get this piece on there, just start it off, and then just twist that round like that. They're on, it's nice and secure, but what we need to do is find a way of locking them into position. So they lock by pulling back like that. So that's the open position and the lock position. So at the moment that is still loose, and we can see that. So what I need to do is just twist that on a little bit more, and you want it so you've got some resistance. So when I pull back just maybe a little bit more, I've got to pull that back and it locks into position, and that is how you release it. So you just sort of fiddle around with it a little bit until you're happy with it, and that one is locked perfectly into place there. When you've got the mower out of the box, you'll notice here it's got these two little spring-loaded catchers there that you just give a half twist to. You want them to be in that position, because if they're not, if the little bolt goes through, you won't be able to put that into position like that. So they do need to be like that. You can see the cables there aren't being trapped, they're in the right position. And there are 3 holes here, so we can line them up with whichever one we want. So I normally go around the middle, but if you're taller, you probably go higher to adjust the level of the handlebar. And then to lock it, we just twist that there, and I'm going to do exactly the same there. And if you do need to fold this down for storage, we just release the two red handles and this top piece folds over like that, so makes it take up less space in your shed or garage. The other thing we need to do is to put the cable clips on just to hold these cables and stop them flapping around. So we've got two of these. I find it easier to put the cable into the position and then just clip it on like that. So we'll do the same on this side, onto there, and that's it, nice and firm. So what we need to do next is get some fuel in it. We need oil and petrol in it. So we're going to start with the oil here. So we just take the dipstick out. This is just there, so to remind you what it is. So dipstick there. You might, when you take it out, think, oh, there's actually oil on there. There is a little bit of oil on it. That's because all the engines are tested in the factory. So there is often just a residue of the oil in there. So I'm just going to wipe that. The oil here is supplied. I've got my funnel to put it in. This engine takes 400 millilitres, 0.4 of a litre. The bottle of oil that they give you is 0.6. So don't make the mistake of putting all this in, because that will potentially damage the engine. And bear in mind, there might be a little bit of oil in there as well. So what I like to do, it's got graduations on there, 1 to 6, and they transfer across to this side here where we can see the oil level. So basically pour in a little bit less, dipstick to check it, and then add a bit more if you need it. It's much easier to add more than it is to take it out. So I'm going to put in what we think we need. I think we're not far off, so what I'm going to do is just let that oil run down into the bottom of the sump, get the dipstick and just try that. So clean it always first, put it in and lock it into position. It clicks into position, take it out, and there's the level there, which is where the oil is. So that's absolutely spot on. So that is good to go. So that's the oil in. And then the next thing we need is some petrol in this. We're using unleaded E10 fuel, and remember, always use fresh petrol. You don't want old stale petrol, as it will affect the running of the engine. So nice and fresh. So that goes in here. So we're just going to pour that carefully into there, and then the top firmly on. So we're fueled up, oil and petrol. So what we can do now is lift it down onto the grass, and I'll show you how to start the mower. Before we start the engine, just a little look at the grass collection box which goes on the back. When you get it out the box, it's got some little plastic lugs on there. They're purely to protect those and stop them damaging the box in transit. So you must take those off, otherwise you'll never be able to fit it. And it's very easy to put into place. We just lift this flap at the back here, and this is obviously the hole where the grass is going to blow out. And we've got the springs. These little lugs are going to just simply hook over like that. Okay, so drop that down, and that holds it firmly in position. And you'll notice there is a little flap at the back, this red flap here. When the mower is being used and it's blowing the grass back, there's quite a strong airflow, so that will flap like that. While it's flapping, it's filling the box full of grass clippings. When it stops, that's an indication that this is full and you need to empty it onto your compost heap or dispose of it. So good little aid there. Starting is very, very simple. A little tip when you are starting is always lift the height of cut. Again, in the box, to take up the minimum amount of space, it's right down to the floor, so we can lift it up there. There's 7 positions in total, so sort of lift it so that it's just clear of the grass. We can always lower it again when the engine's running. The reason for that is if you start it when it's flat to the grass, it can just damage the lawn. And then to start it is very simple. We need the pull cord here, but that can fasten onto the handle so we don't have to bend down. So to do that, just pull in the red lever on the handlebar. That takes the compression away, and then just pull that slowly. We're not starting it, we're just pulling it to get it out, and then that will lock into position on that little loop just there. Starting is very simple. We've got 2 levers here, so this red one has to be in before the engine will fire, and this one is self-propelled, so to go forward we push the black one in at the back, and that will take the mower forward. To stop, we just release everything. So as soon as you release the red one, the engine cuts out. Before we can pull the recoil, this one has a primer button on the front, which is this little red button just here. We just push that 2 or 3 times. It just pumps a bit of fuel through into the carburettor. So just do it when the engine is cold, and then we can start it. We've already lifted the height of cut, so the red lever back, and then just give it a pull. Away we go, and then the lever in and we know. And there you go, just release the handle and it stops straight away. And of course you can adjust the height of cut to suit the lawn length that you've got. So really easy and fast to put together, very easy to start, very manoeuvrable, so enjoy using it on your lawn.
Remember to register your Cobra online at cobragarden.co.uk. Always have your Cobra serviced regularly. Check the website for your nearest dealer.